brought out.
Sorry, fam.
Oh, okay. Can I? Well, no, Kid Cudi, Lutu. Can I at least say goodbye?
Sometimes you think it would be fun to be a celebrity, but then you see stuff like this and remember that it probably sucks. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for another top 10 cringiest celebrity interview walkouts. We'll be looking at more embarrassing and cringe-inducing interviews that end in a celebrity walking out in frustration. We'll only be including interviews that featured the celeb literally leaving the conversation, so cranky celebrities and awkward but walkout-less interviews will not be included. You're welcome, Billy Bob.
Would I explain why it's not a hobby? Are you reacting to the fact that I said
Yeah, I am.
If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Must desert you, I know it will hurt you, and I don't belong, I won't belong after this song.
Number 10, Gary Coleman. Former child actor Gary Coleman found himself a target of the tabloids in January of 2010, when he was arrested on an outstanding warrant related to domestic assault. He subsequently appeared on The Insider in an attempt to clear his name, but was pelted with accusations by the hosts.
A little relationship with your wife. Have you ever physically touched her?
No, I don't have a volatile relationship with anybody.
In the course, he grows particularly hostile towards guest host Lisa Bloom, who seemingly refuses to listen despite his constant denials. They proceed to get into a fierce screaming match before Coleman storms out in a flurry of curses.
Because she's pushing my buttons, and I don't like her now, and the next thing I'm gonna do is leave. So all of you.
The other hosts can do nothing but sit and gawk at the sheer pandemonium that is taking place beside them. Number 9, R. Kelly. Now this is an interview for the ages. While appearing on HuffPost Live, R. Kelly is told by the interviewer that his controversial personal life has been affecting his album sales and the way people interact with his lyrics.
Your personal life has started to interfere with the way that people consume your lyrics.
Right,
I sent you some messages there about that.
You're here to get ratings, and I understand it. I respect that.
No,
but
sir,
you won't be getting them off me if you're going to interrogate me.
I'm not
rather than sit here and
interrogating
talk
you.
about something positive.
This does not please Kelly, and he tells the interviewer that she only has one more question. This results in an absolutely hilarious and surreal moment where the two talk over each other for a solid minute, with neither being interested in what the other has to say.
There have been multiple accusations against you, against young women in Chicago, and they are concerned about your past, and that's impacting them from purchasing your music sales.
All. It doesn't matter who they are.
Of course, the interviewer has a point, because R. Kelly's reputation has plummeted in recent years. Facing charges of child exploitation, kidnapping, and forced labor will do that to you. Number 8, Rita Ora. It's not often that celebrities walk on the Associated Press, but here you have it. Rita Ora gives a rather innocuous interview with the Associated Press, and everything seems to be going swimmingly until the interviewer brings up Calvin Harris not releasing some of her stuff, causing Ora to politely smile and walk away.
There's been a lot of rumors that between Calvin Harris and not releasing some of your stuff.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
A discerning listener can also make out someone off camera saying something to the effect of, "We're not talking about anything personal," and the fact that the interviewer was presumably warned about this makes the situation even more awkward. We guess he just got caught up in the moment and sensed some juicy gossip.
It's my love of pop mixed with my love of soul and people that I've loved working with growing up, so it's a great surprise.
When can we expect that music?
The music comes out next year, January.
Number 7, LeBron James. A bit of context for this one. In Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals, Cleveland Cavalier J.R. Smith made a monumental mistake, resulting in the eventual loss of the game.
Watch James. Now wanted a timeout, but too late to get it. And 5 minutes go up on the clock, overtime here in Game 1.
Teammate LeBron James was visibly peeved at Smith, and journalists couldn't help but bring it up in the post-game conference. An ESPN reporter asked James what Smith was thinking when he made the error, resulting in a bitter back and forth. When pressed further, despite answering the question numerous times, James simply stood up, gathered his belongings, and left the stage amidst a painfully awkward silence.
Did you know if he knew the score?
Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and say no, he didn't know what Smith was thinking. Just a hunch. Number 6, Jesse Ventura. In 2009, vet, wrestling icon, actor, and politician Jesse Ventura appeared on Opie and Anthony, only to spar with comedian Jim Norton over the topic of the American government and military. Norton continuously yells into the microphone, while Ventura calmly tries to explain his situation and point of view.
I just said
government's covering it up.
We have not been told the truth.
So you feel that
Well, okay, wait a minute. All right? If you'll calm down a moment.
You're yelling. You said
I'm
the
not
F word.
yelling.
You're the governor. The F
This is serious.
It eventually gets so bad that Jesse simply just sits back and stares at Norton, clearly frustrated with his stubbornness. Ventura leaves 20 minutes later, but even in the midst of physically walking out of the studio, he and Norton can't help but dig into each other.
Bye, tough guy.
Bye, tough guy.
And thanks for your service to our country.
You're welcome. Thanks for touching me with your stupid riff-raff Rocky Horror hairdo.
It's wonderfully awkward, and it's a miracle that it didn't come to blows. Let's just say Jim wouldn't have lasted long. Number 5, Jordan Belfort.
Why can't I ask these questions?
And I was told this was a friendly, nice interview, and no one has ever treated me as disrespectfully as you have, really.
Legally speaking, Jordan Belfort is a convicted scammer and fraudster who spent 2 years in prison. You may know this because Leonardo DiCaprio played him in The Wolf of Wall Street. After its release, Belfort sat down with 60 Minutes reporter Liz Hayes. Throughout, Belfort grows hostile when Hayes discusses his victims and their restitution, but things get really wild once she asks if he's hiding money in Australia, leading him to scoff and prod Hayes to move on. But an off-screen voice cuts the interview short.
You have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt to hide your income?
Next question.
I think the peanut gallery is going to start chiming really quickly. We've been audited.
I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done.
Why can't I?
You got a lot of nerve, boy, I'll tell you.
Belfort proceeds to chastise Hayes from the sidelines, calling her disrespectful and telling her that she has a lot of nerve to ask the question she was asking. Number 4, Shannon Tweed.
She's mad because you made a joke about it.
I was trying to lighten the mood, and
she was not having it.
Yeah.
In June of 2011, Shannon Tweed and husband figure Gene Simmons appeared on Joy Behar Say Anything to promote the new season of Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. The interview was a little awkward to begin with, as Tweed kept repeating that she was sick of her relationship with Simmons and his philandering ways.
What about though? You've been with him for 27 years. Is it new?
I'm tired.
28.
I'm tired of it.
You're tired of the life?
Well, the kids went to college, and I'm tired of his life.
Shannon rips off her microphone and walks out, as Gene calmly asks her to return. Luckily, not too much damage was done, as Simmons and Tweed married just 4 months later and are still together as of 2019. At least the story has a happy ending. Perhaps one of several? Number 3, Kid Cudi. Nardwuar is an oddly beloved, cult Canadian interviewer who uses an idiosyncratic personality and some truly impressive research to throw off his guests. His unorthodox approach typically results in bewilderment and maybe even some acknowledgement, but it often gets him into trouble.
Yo, he know too much. I can't do this.
Things were going quite well with Kid Cudi until Nardwuar showed Cudi some albums that his deceased uncle played on. Cudi is polite enough, but he quickly leaves without any fanfare or formal goodbye. He just up and walks out the door while Nardwuar chases him down the short hallway.
Doot-doodaloo-doo. Can you say bye-bye?
Come on, man, chill out.
Cudi could not get out of there fast enough. Number 2, Justin Bieber. This entire interview was like something you'd see in Lost in Translation. Bieber appeared on a Spanish radio show in 2015 and immediately took umbrage with the format. As the interview was conducted in Spanish, a translator was required to both translate the host's questions and the Bieb's answers.
Fiestas, por ejemplo, de Guadalcanal, pues que no va al centro al fuego, no va a fiestas patronales de Washington. Ahí no me deja. Sí, bueno, pues como nosotros.
You can practically see Bieber's eyes glazing over throughout the interview due to the glacial pace and terrible questions, which many people attribute to poor translating. After 8 minutes of torture and some unnecessary personal digs, the hosts asked Justin to break the internet with some popular YouTubers, forcing Bieber to nonchalantly walk out amidst the host's obvious excitement.
Hundreds of millions. Okay, yeah. Come with us. Come with us. Justin.
And they are YouTubers.
Vamos aquí. Come with us.
Talk about being a buzzkill. You know, he was great with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Joan Rivers. The late Joan Rivers was not to be messed with.
You know, this whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yeah,
shut up.
I'm talking.
CNN proved that the hard way. The interviewer, Frederica Whitfield, is clearly doing that whole "I'll attack you, but I'll pretend to be polite and act innocent" thing throughout the whole interview. She takes numerous potshots at Rivers while continuing to feign friendliness, which includes laughing at Joan's comments, but before long, she has had enough.
You're just saying, no, I'm going. I really am going because all you have done is negative.
Once Whitfield comments on Rivers' fur coat, she flies off the handle before calling the interview negative and storming off. Whitfield also states that Rivers kept her microphone on after the cameras had cut and let fly some rather, colorful language. Something tells us Joan did not take kindly to the passive aggressiveness. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.